universidad me lo pide. Así que estamos grabando, ¿ya? Eso, estamos grabando, ¿ok? So, Alejandra, I sent you two different YouTube videos about different stuff, and, well, not different stuff. They're about comedy and the way in which people react to comedy nowadays in the United States, basically. Okay. So I asked you to provide a summary, first of all, per each video, then try to provide your, just let me find the exact words, so otherwise I might be lying. I ask you to provide a summary, then your opinion per each one of them, and finally a mixture of both of them. Okay, so let's do it. You
Okay,
tell me which one are you going to begin with?
I'm going to begin with the first one that talks about how the new generations of Netflix viewer get offended by Friends, the sitcom.
Okay.
And how I was noticing about this video is that people get offended by some homophobic, racist, and sexist jokes that the show that the show have. And for example, there is a little jokes that I think that aren't that strong, that to tell that are being that aren't that strong to being that to getting this attention, or when to say, and is the people that are called millennial are the generation that are getting offended by this, and use social social media like Twitter or Facebook to express their opinions.
Alejandra. Hello, I'm not listening.
Disculpe, profe, que tuve que parar.
Okay,
Por un... Also, the video talks about that the jokes are made 20 years ago, so sometimes the jokes don't get the same effect that 20 years ago had. So they some people talks about this and said that the people needs to get jokes well, how to get jokes, and some comedians talks about this, that they don't they don't how to say, they don't present themselves anymore because they don't want to get censored. Censored? I don't know.
Okay. Censored.
Censored. They also talk that some comedians start to they start to, how to say this, they start to move along with this. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to read a new script that don't offend anybody.
Okay.
And in the second video, what I understand is that this is an an like comedy talk show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so the host is a comedian and start to talk about jokes that we need to get the difference between the jokes and reality, and the difference between that some facts and the versus the generalization is what I understand. That some people, for example, said that Latinos are this way, but there is some data that said that is this way, but we couldn't take that so seriously, because it's just being uh, we also are generalize this, like it's just jokes, because the comedians knows that this is not reality. It's just taking uh, some certain information that could make uh, a joke about it, but they are not pretending to make this a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So that would be basically right, like the summary for both of them.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I
Now, your opinion. What's your opinion about the first video? Do you agree with that? You
um,
don't agree with that?
I don't agree with the first video. Um, I mean, I agree um, that some jokes aren't well anymore, aren't good. It's like, oh, okay, that's rude, but we have to um, we have to know the fact that these shows are old, and we have to know that um, this, for example, in France, the jokes aren't just are just small jokes, not our entire episode, like having uh, racist um, or homophobic jokes. It's just one joke about one specific part of the episode. So now it's like, for example, other shows that are completely about being sarcastic, for example, that have a lot of these jokes. But in France, I think it's a soft joke first.
Okay, I've been reading. I mean, I was quite aware of this problem because, as you can see, this video comes from 2 years ago, right?
Mm.
And I remember that back on those days, people were having tons of different issues with friends, that they were saying that basically it was a chauvinistic, homophobic, racist TV show, and I just can't see that in that manner. Or I just thought that those comments, they are not the entire show; they are just a couple of jokes. So what do you think about that? Is Friends, the TV show, that TV show, uh, is it too? I don't know how to say it. Is it too old fashioned or not?
Um, I think the show, no, I think have that joke because of the time, but some situations are still happening that people s- think like that, but we now know that it's wrong, and we sometimes decide or not decide to make that joke. In that time, it's like, oh, we don't have problem with that. It's just a small joke. It's not like they have real problems with that, with gays or problem with um, race. It's just jokes that are being in a sitcom program. So I don't think that is old fashioned. It's just uh, um, it's just because they are made and that
Back in those days, you mean?
back in those days the jokes aren't that important, or people uh, don't care about that small jokes. I think there people get offended in the past by other things
Okay.
that
Yeah, they got offended by different things, right?
yes, that's what I think.
Okay. What about making jokes? Do you make jokes?
Mm, no, I think I'm not usually. I mean, mm, I used to do it, but now I know that some jokes are bad. When I was a kid, I don't know that this in word was bad because I I am like Latina and supposed to be people of color. So I said, oh, the N word is okay because I am Latina and I have a color skin for saying. But when I grow, I notice by internet that that word is very a bad word. So it's what, oh, okay. I now know that not because I'm um, Latina and having my skin just a little bit color is that means that I could say that.
Okay. Okay. So you're okay. Got it. I got it. Now, what do you think that, like, you personally, about making jokes or telling jokes about fat people or minorities or like these segregated parts of the population? What do you think
Mm,
about that? Is it cool? Is it not cool?
it depends. It how it's saying is because there's some shows that make these jokes, but it's like um, make an intention. Like, oh, I'm making this joke because I know this is wrong and this character is a wrong character, like it's a bad character, so this character do it because it's bad. So we know that this character is bad, so if this character do it, it's bad. But when people normalize that, like, oh, I'm just saying that, and but I think in shows that are made in this uh, period of time, for example, I know a show that it's called I don't remember. It's like Tashable,
Okay.
that people get very offended by the show.
Mm-hmm.
It the show tries to be like sarcastic, but really don't don't it, like just bad. Like the people that make that show don't don't know how to make it uh, uh, not offensive. It's just offensive. It's like not make it to realize. It's just I don't because people know how to. I think
Mm-hmm.
some people know how to separate things. Like, oh, it's a joke. Oh, it's a way to see sarcastic, etc. Oh, it's really doing that. But in the program, you don't know how to make these differences. Like, is this person talking about pedophiles? It's like, oh, that's just bad. So
Yeah.
person is like, no.
I've been thinking about different ways of dealing with this issue. Like, on the one hand, I was thinking that apparently there are works like Friends TV shows, right?
Mhm.
Friends or The Nanny or Married with Children, and they come from the 90s and 80s, some of them, and they apparently were not talking about those themes anymore. Therefore, we're not dealing with those issues. So what I'm saying is that apparently, as time passes by, people, audiences, we change the way in which we see, right? We
Mhm.
get importance of different issues, like, and because of that, Friends is not that appealing today. That's one of the ways that was one of the stuff I was thinking. And then the other thing I was thinking was about what is offensive, like where's the line, what's the border. Like, for
Mhm.
example, I can tell a joke about a drunk man and it is just a joke, or under certain circumstances it can be very offensive. So
Mhm.
I was thinking about that. What do you think about these shows made like 20 years ago and you can watch them now? Do you think they are still valid, or they are just, I don't know, something which is not worth?
Mm, I was talking with a friend the other day about this issue that I think that shows we that shows are valid, but are valid to make us think that we are changing and that programs are good, but now we could see the little mistake that makes maybe, or we are adults because sometimes we could watch some program when we was younger and said, oh, this is
And we
funny,
were.
and watch it late, uh, watch it now and say, oh no, that joke was bad. Why I joke about this? But
Yeah.
um, I also was talking about a way to categorize these programs.
Okay.
Like some programs said, I don't know, this program have violence or have bad words, but we could make like a categorize that said, oh, this program has like, I don't know, homophobic, racist, but when it's really happening, not just because our jokes. It's like, oh, maybe this program could be too much for this type of uh, uh, public, and have an like categorize that. Say it's not censorship, I think, but it's like saying, oh, if you want to see this, you know that uh, these situations could happen.
Yeah. I think, like, yesterday I had this another lesson. I'm teaching a cinema uh, a cinema course at the other university, a film course, and we're basically analyzing movies and talking about that. And yesterday we were discussing the fact that in the Chilean television, they show us some characters in certain ways, and within those ways, when they show us like homosexuals or lesbians, they are doing it in one specific manner. So I don't know, what do you think about showing minorities in certain manners, or not in any other? Like, for example, like
Mm.
whenever they show us a homosexual, those guys or those representations are almost the same. Like this guy, this feminine man, which is always matter of laugh, is funny, is a comical relief, right? It
Mm.
is never like a serious character. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think I agree with that because I I usually or when I was a kid, the people and I myself think that homosexual are like this, or black people are this. This is like it's like, oh, okay, these people are when I see one in the street, or when I see one, it's like, or I know people that have this characteristic are going to be like this, but it's no. When you grow up and know different kind of people, you know, like no, the television is how we start to see in the world. Is like our first, like not our first. I mean, just some people uh, get to or used to just having the television way of seeing things, like oh, uh, people that live in that place is this way, so it's something like breaking that television way of seeing things. So I think it's good to make new characters that have that broke that stereotype.
Mhm.
Like, oh no, gays aren't always happy. It's like, why put that kind of character? There is a lot of different people that are homosexual that have difference and not always have the same personalities. Like, oh, well, you know, a person that maybe is uh, have this way of talking or way of or way of living, but it's not all of them.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that because of the political correctness that this video is showing or is
Mm,
dealing with, right? Like,
mhm,
is it good that, or no, not good? The word is not good. Is it appropriate? Yeah, that would be the word,
mhm,
appropriate. Is it
mhm,
appropriate that we still keep those images on our televisions or on our TV shows or not? I don't know. What do you think about that?
mm. I think is uh, I think we have to. There is a lot of programs that have new that have real characters that have I don't know, they're gay, but we don't know they are gay, and sometimes the author said, oh, this character is gay, and people is like, why is gay? I think that this, I don't know, is like, why you are getting mad? I think for the people that are uh, homophobic, racist, etc., and they get offended by a character that is gay, but they don't know they is gay. It's like, why did you get mad by some character that is normal, that gay people are normal? You get offended by knowing that are gay or etc. It's like, I don't
Yeah,
know. It's very weird that, because sometimes we live with that very religious way of seeing television and things. So when
what do you say religious?
because sometimes I don't know if it's religious, it's maybe Catholic, to be
Okay.
more. It's like very I don't know. Sometimes people say like, oh no, because this is bad, because we know that this kind of people it's like that.
Oh,
Gays are
okay.
bad.
Okay, so
Or
yeah, basically, yeah, got it. I understand. So basically, you're saying that because of a religious moral, people tend to have one prejudice over one specific
mhm.
group. Okay, got it.
And sometimes not the religion, it's just the people. I think I sometimes watch or know people that are gay or lesbians, and they are very religious persons, and so it's not the religion, it's some that the people think that could have this, like, how is it, like school, like a,
Shield.
oh no, like a shield, like, oh no, my religion said that something, but it's no, your religion don't manage everything. So
Okay, got it.
I don't
Got
know.
it. Good. Good. Okay, so other question. Uh, in the second video, in this video, is another one. He's stating that some racial prejudices instead of sexual preferences, and he's stating that okay, we can make jokes about racial prejudices or not. like Latinos are like this and Asians are like that or whatever. Uh,
Mhm.
what do you think about that? Can we still do that or we should stop it?
We should stop because now we are living in a very how is it like we are living in this globalization world,
Globalized, globalized.
globalized
Yeah.
world that we know that there is a different kind of people that we know that people are different. So I don't think that we could skip this kind of jokes. I think in the 90s will be good, but now it's just like I don't know.
Why would
Maybe
be why it would be good or okay in the 90s and not today?
mm, maybe same things like uh, these jokes about Asians that I don't know. Well, it's like being that they are I don't know. Mm, they are all the same. I have that prejudice that they are all the same. They don't have like they have all the same faces, but now I understand that just because they have this certain characteristic on their eyes, didn't mean that they are the
Ah, that
same.
they look like the
Yeah,
same. Okay.
yes, like oh, I don't know, every Asian person is uh, like a clone. Is like no, they are they aren't. Maybe it was fun, but now I don't think it's offensive. But I think that making that joke didn't work anymore or don't work anymore. It's like no, people is like no, there is a lot of we could just realize that um, that is not true.
Okay. 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 One final question before we finish.
Mhm.
What do you think? Or what's your opinion about that people? Those people who get offended because of these jokes and they make these public funas. I don't know how to say that in English. Um, is it appropriate to go and fight on the internet because of that, or is it too much?
Mm, no, I think I write this down that we can't get offended by people get offended. We could
Okay.
say, oh, let's talk. We can debate it, but there's have to be open debate about it. It's like, oh, you find this offensive. Why? And start to talk about it, but not just saying, oh, I find this offensive. So everyone have to think about that with me. Or in the other way, the people that say, oh, no, it's not offensive, but oh, maybe you feel bad about this. So, okay, I'm going to take your position, uh, make your position valid. It's like all, both um, uh, both parts needs to get uh, not a solution, but maybe just realize why these people are getting offended or why these people said that it's not offensive, but uh, they know that if a person get offense, don't like accuse the person of or getting mad because a person offended by something that the person did.
Okay.
Or
Okay. Got it. Good. Good. Okay. I think that's enough. Alejandra, entonces hacemos lo mismo de siempre, ¿ya? Yo ahora voy a cerrar esto, se va a hacer el video, lo subo al canal, te
mhm,
envío el link, usted lo ve, toma
mhm,
notas. La intención es la misma de siempre, revisarlo con la tabla de assessment de Cambridge y
mhm,
ponerle ojito ahí a accuracy, que, que,
mhm,
que la gramática de lo que dijiste esté correcta, porque yo creo que el resto está bien. Y pronunciation, sí, a ver si pillas cosas que pudieran mejorar y también en el desarrollo de las ideas. Si fuiste capaz de decir todo, si lo que dijiste tenía una progresión, si eres capaz de entregar información que vaya más profundo dentro de lo que querías decir, ¿ya? Eso, es harto rato lo que hablamos, entonces yo creo que tenía harto rato. Así que en la que yo me demore en renderizar el video, subirlo, enviarlo, nos van a dar como las 5:10 y después te tomas el rato en hacer el análisis y me lo envías, ¿vale?
Lo envío ahora en esta, ¿cierto, profe?
O sea, de aquí al otro martes, ¿cachai? Para que
Ah, ya,
partamos la
ya,
próxima clase con, ya, hicimos esto, vimos esto, pasó esto, yo creo esto otro y eso. También
ya,
te voy a
profe.
enviar otro mock del listening del FCI para que lo revisemos también el martes. Deja anotarlo aquí entonces enviar video y enviar el mock FCI. ¿Ya? Entonces, con esas dos cositas comenzamos la clase el próximo martes. Les recuerdo, Alejandra, que tenemos que hacer 2 controles más que son de estos 2 FCI que faltan, ¿ya?
Ya,
Así que tengo que buscar más de estas cosas para enviarte, pero tengo uno más para enviarte seguro, seguro ahora. Eso,
ya, profe.
¿ya?
Ujú.
Ya.
Sí, ahora anoté todo que había que hacer.
Ok, eso entonces, Alejandra. Renderizo, subo y envío.
Ya, profe.
Dale, que estoy súper.
Igual, profe.
Cuídate
Que esté bien.
mucho.
Igual,
Chao, que tengas buena semana.
igual, profe.